The Sooners just hired Emmett Jones to be the new wide receiver coach for the Oklahoma Sooners. And you may be asking the question of why? I'll explain coming up here in about 10 seconds. What's good, everybody? It's your boy Jay here with Unfair Sports, where we take a pensive approach to the sports conversation. Thank you for pulling up to the channel. In this video, we're going to talk about the new wide receiver coach at Oklahoma, Emmett Jones, and why he's here. Like, why did they get a new coach when they had one in Antoine Washington? There's a reason, a few reasons, and we'll talk about that right now. But before we do that, hop in the comments, let your boy know. What's your thoughts on Coach Emmett Jones coming from Texas Tech to Oklahoma? Love to get your comments and interact and talk to you all like we always do. If you're new to the channel, hit that like, subscribe, and the bell notification. Come and join the family. We're dropping a lot of content and whatnot. I had a little hiatus, and I'll explain at the end of the video what happened. And yeah, we're going to play catch up for the next couple of days. So we would love to have you tune in and hear my thoughts and opinions on stuff. And if you've been here for a while, share. Why? Because sharing is caring. That's what we do here, is we share information together. And so Coach Emmett Jones is now the new wide receiver coach for Oklahoma, as well as passing game coordinator. And there's some reasons why Oklahoma decided to go this direction instead of where they already were currently. And so, as you all know, Coach Cale Gundy stepped away. We have a video where we talked about that a while ago. And so Coach LaDamian Washington took over for Coach Gundy, and he's been the interim wide receiver coach since. And now Coach Washington, to me, did a pretty solid job of being the wide receiver coach for these young players. But the one thing about him is that he's young. That was kind of the thing. He's green. He's new in the game. And because of that, Oklahoma did some searching to potentially get a replacement if they decided not to keep Coach Washington at that role. And we know the search went around. There are rumors around getting Malcolm Kelly, who's the wide receiver coach at TCU, as well as a few other coaches out there that we were looking at. And we got Coach Jones instead overall. And I believe that he was a really good pick for a few reasons. So first and foremost, experience. Coach Jones has spent the last year at Texas Tech. Before that, he was spent a couple of years at Kansas underneath Les Miles. And then right before the Kansas job, while he was there, wide receiver and passing game coordinator for a couple of years, he was at Texas Tech under Cliff Kingsbury. And so he's been a part of some high-octane, prolific offenses out there, especially at Tech under Kingsbury, who runs the air raid offense similar to the offense that we're going to be running here. And, you know, how everything's basically the same with a lot of these offenses in the Big 12. So he has that Big 12 experience, and he's really stuck and spent most of his time in Big 12 country. But the biggest piece that makes him beneficial to being here on this staff is his ties to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. He coached at high schools in Dallas. And so that's huge to me, because 13 years in the Dallas area means that you've built a substantial amount of relationships that you'll be able to leverage long term when it comes to recruiting and evaluating talent and getting players to come in, because Dallas has produced some good ones. I mean, one you may know that went to Texas Tech was Michael Crabtree. You know, he was a monster, Biletnikoff Award winner. And he was a part of those Texas Tech teams with Coach Cliff Kingsbury that was leading the country in passing yards in the game. I know y'all would love to have that while having a stout defense that Coach Brent Venables is focused on, and that's what he's there for. And so with him at wide receiver coach, recruiting wide receivers and focusing there and leveraging relationships in the Dallas area for other positions for some of the top talent in the country, also having a passing game coordinator, well, he'll work with Coach Levy. He'll help with the quarterbacks. He'll help with the passing attack game plan while developing these young receivers. I mean, he's got a nice receiver room with Nick Anderson as well as Jaden Gibson being the young pups out there. Just saw a picture of how Jaden was saying that he wants him and Nick Anderson to be the best duo in the country. And to be honest, I think they have the capabilities at 6'5" and 6'4" and blazing fast. Good chance we're going to have some monsters at wide receiver. We'll be able to leverage them. And then also developing Jalil Farouk into a number one receiver where he can get out there in space and dominate, adding in the recent transfers, Andrell and Anthony, as well as just all these slew of players we have, plus the rooks, freshmen that are coming in. We got a very solid wide receiver room. So having a coach that's got experience getting people as Biletnikoff finalists is huge. And he had that when he was at Texas Tech with our boy Antoine Wesley. He was a first team All-American and caught 88 catches for 1,400 yards. And he became a finalist in the Biletnikoff, one of very few. And Texas Tech is producing wide receivers to go in the NFL because they're so high volume. And we know our offense is going to be similar to that. It's going to be high paced. We're going to be throwing a lot of passes and running the ball a lot. And so having that balanced attack while at the same time developing these receivers to get open on their own, that way we have places to throw it to them. It's going to be huge long term for us. So that's kind of one of the reasons why you would take an Emmett Jones over a LaDainian Washington. And I was reading up on how, and Brent Venables said this in his press conference, that he was wanting to keep Coach Washington around. They offered him a spot, stick around to help develop him, grow him, and leverage him because he's done some solid work to be so young, but it looks like he's potentially taking the job. Actually, correction, he's taking the job at Western Kentucky to be their wide receiver coach, which I understand. Wish him nothing but the best. Would have been nice to keep him, but at the same time, I get it. You go do you, coach. Go do the things that's going to make you successful long term. Get that experience in recruiting. Get that experience in landing top talent. That way you can take that to the next job, or based upon your aspirations, if you want to go to offensive coordinator or head coach, all of that stuff will be there waiting for you. But that's the reason why you take a coach like Emmett Jones. You leverage the ability to get those recruits in Dallas. You get a coach that's got experience in multiple passing offenses, especially some of that air raid, that Mike Leach air raid down the line. Rest in peace, coach. That a lot of coaches are leveraging to be able to get wide receivers open and, score points. Something that we really need to do. And then adding what he's doing to our stout defense. Oh boy, there's a chance we're going to make the magic happen. So, thank y'all for pulling up. As usual, here to Unfair Sports. Hit the like, subscribe, and the bell notification. If you're going to stick around, I will explain right now what took me so long on these videos. For my job, I was out of town for the last week at some conferences. And just to simply put it, I didn't have any time, any evening in the time zone that I was in to actually sit down and make anything, do the research, write everything or whatnot. I kept notes, put stuff on the side, but to sit down and write and record and edit and put it up, unfortunately, I did not have the time. But don't fret, I do have equipment to travel with me. So in the future, hopefully I will have the time and opportunity when I travel for work to do this for you all. So I appreciate the patience. Thank you all for the love and the post that I put telling y'all what's coming back. I do appreciate the fact that you all stick around and watch my video. So with that being said, go ahead and hit the like, subscribe, bell notification. You made it this far. You may as well show some love, right? It's not going to be as awkward anymore. I should have videos lined up. I got a bunch of them to talk about. I want to talk about all the recruits coming through, and we'll make a podcast episode with either my boy, me and Coop, or a few others. And so since you're here at the end, thanks a bunch, and we'll talk in the next few hours. So just expect video after video after video after video after video to drop. Talk to you in a few hours. Peace.